Okay, I know I've been very um, busy doing adverts and things, and I thought, you know what, time to take a break. Um, my doctor reckons you gotta balance things. I'm not good at balancing anything in life. I tend to be full bore at whatever I'm doing, which sometimes is half the problem. So uh, we're supposed to at this stage say breathe in, hold, and then let the breath out slowly. That's that's the suggestion. But instead of doing breathing exercises, I decided that maybe something that's more relaxing is let's have a look at this Stoner lineup. And don't I sound relaxed at the moment? And that's the Stoner that's doing that. I don't need to do breathing exercises. I can just come along and look at the Stoner and go, right, what an amazing, amazing bit of history. Now, I'm just feeding a signal into this at the moment. You may not be able to hear that. And it's is a lovely, lovely setup. Anyway, let's talk about the Stoners. As you can see, we've got a digit out here on the Stoner display, which I've got to fix. What I've done is I've just pulled out one of the Stoners. I didn't even really go too crazy trying to pick out which one or anything. This is Stoner number 570. And as you know, I've got a few Stoners, and I won't have soon. So that's the big tip. Talk to me if you're a bit of a Stoner addict, because we won't be doing any more buys or bulk buys or anything, just due to some circumstances. And I'm going to keep, sort of like things like this line up here. I'm going to keep you. When I die, someone can come and offer Sam some money for this. This can sort of sit in my my radio area, because it's just a lovely lineup. And anyone who knows me knows I love old lineups that are a bit sort of interesting and different. But I will take some time out and sort out this digit here. It's actually got more than that digit wrong. I'm going to be very, very honest here and tell you what I've got to do with this one. So let's go up. See, channel 40, you can see the top digit's missing there. So if you remember, the bottom digit. So what does that mean? That means when we go through to channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Look at that. So I've got 3 digits here in trouble on this one. I'm actually good on the frequency display, but I've got 3 digits over here on the left-hand side that are giving us trouble. And at least look at the one good positive point. It's all on one side, one LED display, or the driver. I haven't even looked at a circuit yet. They may, have pull-up resistors on. I don't know. We'll find out. But let me say, this is a pretty common issue on Stoners. I mean, they're getting on a bit. They're in the 70s. It's now 2022, so I suppose to be fair, probably hasn't done too bad. Now, the great thing here is that I can at least keep an eye on, even though that digit's giving me a bit of trouble. I know I'm on channel 35 because I've got the frequency display to the left there, and the L being for lower, the U being for upper as I change here. Okay. I cleaned that switch actually because it was a bit dirty. A lot of these have been sitting around a long, long time. So, a can of Electrolube or Deoxit, probably, I'm a bit of a fan of Deoxit, to be honest. Sort of certainly does the trick. AM, 20 megs. What does that mean? Well, that means that they basically had an antenna connector where you put anything really on top. They used a President. They were stupid. I don't know why they didn't just add AM. Anyway, so you're virtually turning off that radio and using another one. So, yeah, okay. Let's have a bit of a look. Channels, well, obviously, mic, noise blanket 2. Don't need to tell you what they are. Sideband USB, LSB we just discussed. Peak. Actually, I've got to check that. I know the null was to do with over here, and see how your filter changes on the... You're not going to hear that very well. Hang on. I need to get it on air to show you that, to be honest. Put an antenna into it. Let me just turn that tone off, because I'm getting a bit sick of that. Was receiving at about 0.5 there, so a bit over there. A little bit over I probably need to give this a little bit of a tune. Actually, to be fair, just looking at that, it's actually no, so it's closer to about three microvolts there. So I need to pick this receiver up a bit. You'll find with stoners, and believe me, I'm not talking as an expert here. The only expert on these things that I know is Mike from Mike's CB Radio. He's the only person you'd want to ask advice on these things. He's the only guy that's gone in and spent the time. Little things that you'll need to do with stoners, becoming very obvious. See that meter there? This it's oh, hang on, let's have a look here. Yeah, so really, when I transmit, that should be sitting nice and low. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Now, don't laugh at this. This meter was exactly the same when I got it. A little bit of usage and a little bit of turning it on and using it. I didn't actually have to fix that one. It fixed itself. But we're probably going to need to get in there and just sort that one out. And we'll do that when we do the display. And, that'll be nice. Lovely monitor scope on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And actually, it's a good, resemblance of what it is that you're looking at. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And to give you an idea, they percolate quite well. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, and to be honest, this still could use a bit of a tune, obviously. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a little bit sort of not hyper active as far as frequency response to that mic just then. This is an original Stoner mic. Now, don't get excited by this. Stoner used the most basic mic. It's the only one I've got. I didn't get any more. One mic, one Stoner mic. Anyway, so when you're buying the radios, and a couple of you already have, you've had to go and put a mic on them, and I understand that. What else do we get? There's the meter console, they called it, the SWR40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that meter, in my sort of thinking, is not showing anything remotely close. That needs calibrating. Let's go back to average, actually. 1, 2, hello. Now that's more like it. 1, 2, hello, about 10 watts, yeah. 10, 12 watts. Hello. So on the peak, no. I think their peak meter's way out. Yep. Okay, so 1, 2, SWR on the other side there. So, yep, that's good. No worries. We're into dummy load at the moment. So, yeah, all good there. But nice. Now, what was good about it for you people that might have a few antennas up? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 antennas off the back of it. So, yeah, that was a nice feature. What did they miss? Well, when you look at the front of this at the moment, the thing I reckon they've missed, lights. It'd be nice to have, I mean, it's pretty bright, the white on there, don't get me wrong, it's not too bad. But, I don't know, I was saying to Samantha, I'm tempted to put a couple of lights in there. And she was asking me whether or not that's, sort of taking a very mint-looking unit that, and changing it, whether that touches its value much. And I said, well, probably not with lights. I said, but you might want to just run the lead out the back, I wouldn't want to drill any holes in stoners if you can, avoid that. SPK40 was their speaker. Then the SOC 40 station console. And like amateur radio, they had like a phone patch that you could use and use it on CB radio. How's that, eh? So it's a nice lineup. I don't know whether we'll hear anything on antenna, but we're certainly going to try. Let's have a quick look on an antenna. Once again, apologies about the display. I will get to that. I've just got a lot happening at the moment, and I just thought if I don't do this right now, number one, I'm going to apparently supposed to go and do breathing exercises. This is a bit of a joke, by the way. Sorry, I just get something right here too. I just realised that's right. Just had my generator off lock. But I do think looking at a nice CB radio is very relaxing. Absolutely. All right, let me hook up an antenna. Let's just see if we can hear anything. Okay, so we're just transmitting on the Stoner on channel 35, and I think I've got one of our locals. We got lucky. Who's that there? Go ahead. Hang on, I've got too much gain from you at the moment. I know what the problem is. Just let me just wind things back a bit here. You're a bit close, I think.
That might help too.
Yeah, give that a go. So what was the name again?
Mike India Kilo Echo.
I know who it is. I'm just being silly. Mike, I'm just capturing you on video. Mike lives in Tangambalanga as well, just for the people watching this video. And Mike, this is an old Stoner Pro40 lineup. Yeah, good to be able to at least get a contact on it, because it's a bit quiet out there today. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's extremely quiet. I'm guessing this is Craig up on the hill. Am I correct?
I would be Brenton on the hill. Yeah. I've got to clarify you too a little bit. I've just got you a little bit off at the moment, but yeah, anyway, that's all good. And I've just realised too, I've lost my scope because of the way that I just plugged the antenna in. I had a scope on this as well, and anyway, it doesn't matter. All good. We've seen the scope working on this video. You'll see the video on our YouTube channel once we get that on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, no, it's working fine. I got you on about a 30, 20, and audio's really, really good. It's very clear. Got plenty of bass to it. The tone sounds okay. It sounds very good, actually, considering we're, probably only 4 or 5 k's apart, but you're a fair bit above me, and it's very, very clear.
Yeah, well, you'll see on the video now. I've got you clarified in because I was a bit silly initially. You're actually really sounding good too. But yeah, look, they're an old classic, these things, and a bit of fun for sure. All right, well, I better finish this video off, but thank you very much, Mike. Much appreciated, mate. Good timing. I tell you what, I was in trouble otherwise. It was looking a bit dead across the band. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I've only just sort of come down here to do a couple of things. I got it set up down in the shed, and I've just come down to do a couple of things, and I've been running, and I heard you. Rightio, good luck with it, and we'll catch up shortly.
You're a legend, Mike. Thanks, mate. 73's to you.
Cheers.
Well, that was lucky timing. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, because the band is very quiet today. I must be honest. It is unfortunately one of those days where, and I just realised, yeah, where I plugged the antenna in, I wasn't thinking. I should have plugged it in over at the oscilloscope. You know what I should have done? I should have put the oscilloscope in first, put this in last, and then put the dummy load and the.
Let me know how to find the video.
Yeah, okay. Go to YouTube and just put in Brenton Meadows, or VK3CM, You'll find me for sure, Roger.
That's not a problem.
Sorry, I forgot about that. It's an interesting point. Cheers, mate. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so basically what I should have done, made this the last port of call, and then I could have just gone bang bang between the two. That would have been clever, but I didn't do it that way because. Maybe I need to do those breathing exercises. Okay, well, there we go. Nice to sort of see it running. And sorry about the lighting in here at the moment too. It's not the best. I need to do something about that. Still not. I love the Pro40. Don't get me wrong. Still not my favourite. My favourite will always be the one up there, the Console 6, and well, the Console 6. That's my favourite. I'm a big fan of the Console 6, but you've got to admire the Stoners for their technology and what they did in the time they did it. It's quite something. All right, so sorry this is really just a very brief video. It's not really telling you much about the engineering of them yet. Maybe we'll do some other videos when I start fixing the LEDs and the meter and bits. Trust me, I'm going to talk to Mike first. Mike gave me an offer. He said, if you need any help with those Stoners, yell out. I thought, I will, Mike, I will. If I lived in the US, I'd be driving to him. I'll tell you what, amazing technician. It's just, look, if you're not watching Mike's CB Radio Repairs channel, then you're missing out on a lot. So certainly have a look at that. Don't bother looking at mine. Go to Mike's. There's just an incredible amount of information that you can only get by being who he's been for so many years in the industry. And it's called experience. I think that's the word I'm looking for, experience, no question. All right, well, one last sort of rundown from the phone patch to the speaker and that little SWR meter console with 4-position antenna switch, which I think is wonderful. The Stoner Pro40 still to do a couple of more bits and pieces to smack me on the wrist for that one. Should have got it done then, shown it to you, but anyway, and then the OSC40 monitor oscilloscope, which is really a Kenwood station monitor, SM220 style thing, just with a little bit less functionality, but yeah, really good. All right, well, thanks very much for having a look at my little Stoner. It's a really a preview look. I will get into it at some stage because this no matter how long I'm on the planet for, this will be sort of kept and and I'll try and get time just to do little bits to it to make it a few things. Sorry, just very quickly, what I'd like to do, obviously make the digits sort out, make the meters work correctly, of course. What's on my list of full alignment, maybe even have a look at some of these caps in there. I noticed when I was putting a tone into it that there's a little bit of variance, but I wouldn't be surprised. They use an old potentiometer in here for the clarifier. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just getting a bit dicey as they're getting old. I'd probably just quickly replace that out first, because they're $2 part, just to see whether or not that helps. But that being said, I suspect maybe the odd cap or two, but I hate making the message everything's a recap, because we're finding not everything's a recap. Some things can be a recap, don't get me wrong, if you recap it, there's not really too many negatives, well, with decent caps anyway. All right, thanks very much for having a look at this Stoner video, and guys, I will try and keep you sort of informed with what's going on. I know some of you know, others don't, and thank you, appreciate all the caring, and I do appreciate the messages and things. We will get there, but it definitely one day at a time, and that's all I can say at the moment, is one day at a time, and you've got to just enjoy life. My message to every one of you: get out there, don't waste a second of it. Seriously, if you're sitting around like I was for a while, doing absolutely nothing, don't do it. You're just wasting time. Get out there and enjoy life, and make sure that it is what you envision it to be. All right, 73s from VK3CM down here in Tangambalinga, Northeast Victoria. Really appreciate all of you, and thanks for having a look at our bit of a review of the Stoner lineup. I just must like saying that or something. 73s all. Cheers.